After 12 starts with a 1.91 ERA, Luis Castillo finally took a step back. Let's talk about it next on Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. Welcome into FBT in 5. As always, make sure to follow and stream us on Spotify. Today is Tuesday, August 10th. I am Frank Stanfield, joined by Scott White, and Castillo got rocked by Cleveland. 3 1/3, 7 hits, 8 earned runs. Scott, anything to see here? You actually worried about Luis Castillo, or was he just due for one of these?
Yeah, I think he was just due. I mean, it's hard to sustain a stretch where you have an ERA below 2 for as long as he did, 12 starts, a lot of that was after a very rough start to the season. Remember, he had an ERA above 7, over 7 heading into the month of June. So now you take that and you combine it with this start, his season ERA is 4.53. It looks like looks pretty bad for Luis Castillo, but of course his season has played out very unconventionally. I'll give him a mulligan for this. As good as he's been lately, it doesn't look like he's hurt or that his stuff was diminished in any way. So I think he's fine.
All right, well, how did Cleveland score all those runs? Let's talk about some of their hitters. Ahmed Rosario went 4 for 5 with a double, a triple, and 2 runs scored. Over his last 15 games, he's batting .350 with 1 homer and 3 steals. He's 47% rostered. Scott, any interest in Ahmed Rosario?
I mean, not really. When he gets hot, he can hit for average, I guess, but it's mostly singles. It's not like he's a prolific base stealer. He's not a 0 in that category, but you'd have to be in a pretty desperate situation for steals, I think, to pick up Ahmed Rosario. Even when he's going well, it's just kind of a hollow batting average.
All right, so then you're probably going to have to be in really deep leagues to be interested in these next 2 players. Wilson Ramos has played 2 games in Cleveland. He has hit 2 home runs in those games. He's only 8% rostered. 2 catcher leagues?
Yeah. I mean, he can be pretty productive when he has a job, as he does now. He hadn't since, I think, May for the Tigers. But yeah, just 2 catcher leagues for now for Wilson Ramos.
Last one up is Bradley Zimmer, who went 1 for 3 with his 4th home run. He homered in back-to-back days. Offers a little bit of speed as well. He's 7% rostered, 5% rostered rather. Any interest in deep leagues?
It's been a long time since Bradley Zimmer's been a prospect. He's slugging, I think, under 400 still. Yeah, 363 and a lot of strikeouts. So it's going to take more than home runs in back-to-back games for me to get interested in Bradley Zimmer.
Well, how about 2 home runs in back-to-back games? 4 home runs total for Eloy Jimenez over his last 2. We know that he returned recently from the IL. One of those home runs, 454 feet. Scott, he has moved back inside your top 20 outfielders.
Yeah, he was there before even the first of the 2 homer games, the back-to-back 2 homer games for Eloy Jimenez. We were drafting him as top 20 outfielder coming into the season. The position's only gotten worse since then. So it makes sense. I think Eloy is Eloy and he's doing Eloy things again, and we should treat him like the stud he is.
Yeah, he's only played about 10 games to this point. Ground ball rate is still very high, something that has hampered him in the past, but he's hitting the ball very hard, as we saw on Monday. Should we be looking to add Carlos Hernandez anywhere? He was up against the Yankees, 6 2/3 innings pitched, 1 run, only 3 strikeouts, but over his last 3 starts, only 2 earned runs allowed, 17.2 innings pitched. He's 17% rostered. Scott, any interest in Carlos Hernandez?
I don't think so. Not really. The minor league numbers weren't very good. He's not getting a lot of whiffs as well as he's pitching right now. He does throw very hard. 97.6 is what he's averaging on his fastball for the year. That's average fastball velocity. But since it's not translating to strikeouts really, I don't think there's enough. I don't think there's enough here for Carlos Hernandez. I'll keep an eye on him, but I don't really. The normal ways I evaluate pitchers, he doesn't really stand out.
Let's quickly just wrap up with the bullpens in those games, specifically the Yankees, who we spoke about Aroldis Chapman yesterday, and on Monday, Jonathan Loaisiga came in the 7th inning. Then he was relieved by Chad Green in the following inning. And then Zach Britton actually had a save opportunity in the 9th, a 1-run game, and he wound up blowing it as well. Are we anywhere closer to figuring out what's going to happen here in the Yankees bullpen?
I don't think so. Since Zach Britton blew the save, I'm not sure they'll trot him out for the next one. I guess it's possible. But between him, Jonathan Loaisiga, and Chad Green, I don't know that the Yankees are going to settle on any one guy and that it'll happen soon enough for you to really make much of an investment in it. Maybe they each get a save opportunity or two and then Aroldis Chapman's back, So it seems like, it seems like a lot of brain power going into something that's probably not going to matter that much.
Yeah, I think that probably makes sense for the Yankees bullpen. For more extensive fantasy baseball coverage, listen to the Fantasy Baseball Today podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, your smart speakers, or anywhere else podcasts are found. And thanks for listening to Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. If you enjoyed the pod, please leave a 5-star review on Apple. We'll be back again tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.